Three, two, one, and we should be live. Hello, guys. Welcome
Up,
back. I
everyone?
hope you liked our pre-stream. If you watched it, it was great.
Yes.
Paul said he couldn't
Um,
make it back, unfortunately. He's a busy man, but he should be making it on future Thursdays. I don't know about every future Thursday, but at least for probably the next one and maybe the next few.
I really hope we can do more streams with him
Yeah,
because I think the chemistry between the three of us is pretty awesome for a stream. So
Paul's great.
yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. Hope you
Yeah.
guys did too. Hopefully we'll stream some more games coming up soon. But anyways, that is not what we are doing on this stream. We are talking about Loki episode 4 of season 2. Just came out. I just watched it. Caleb just watched it. We're gonna give you our thoughts on it. First off, we'll go no spoilers to start it off, and then we'll transition into spoilers. So we'll give a quick no spoiler review. Then we're gonna switch over to spoilers. So,
Yeah.
Caleb, what did you think about this?
It was about as good as episode 2, which is to say, not, but also not as bad as episode 3.
Yeah.
So, the non spoiler things, I guess I liked the soundtrack in this one. It stood out to me. I thought it was pretty good. The cinematography did not. Acting is fine. This episode is mostly a waste of time, and I'd say unless episodes 5 and 6 are really, really good abandoned ship, there's no point in like watching this anymore.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think you kind of summed up. I think you and I are on the same page here because that's about how I felt about it.
yeah.
Chat. So for context, when I was watching this, I'm unfortunately here at college, slaving away, and I had a big project that was due tonight. I was working on it as I was watching the episode, so I wasn't able to catch everything, but I did my best, and I thought it was mid at best. There were a few things that I thought was cool, but then there were a few things that I thought were going to be cool, and they got undercut.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that this episode, and whenever Marvel does that, it really turns me off. So,
Lots of like Marvel humor in this, but
mhm.
more out of place than it's ever been. I guess okay, so I wanted to talk quickly about something. I titled this stream Why No One Is Finding Loki Season 2 Interesting, something like that. I wanted to
Mhm.
talk about character consistency cuz Loki was one of the I think he was the most like fan loved people in all of the MCU. I remember he walked out to Comic Con and everyone just loved him. You know, he was in Thor. He was probably like the standout, like the reason to watch Thor. Essentially, he was in
Mhm.
Avengers. He was excellent in Avengers. Even in Thor: The Dark World, he's a recurring character in all the Thor movies and saves half of them. He was in Ragnarok, which was awesome, and then he died in Infinity War. And
Mhm.
Marvel has a problem. It does the same thing with characters like Thor and Doctor Strange. Characters who post Ragnarok or post Doctor Strange's movie, I really loved those characters and I couldn't wait to see them. And then we get movies like Thor Love and Thunder or Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And these characters make decisions that are totally contradictory to the people that they used to be in previous movies. And that makes me think, oh, I'm watching a different character anymore. And it makes me stop caring about them in future things. I saw just recently Thor 5 is being developed. I don't care. The
Mhm.
character from Thor Ragnarok, for whatever reason, Taika Waititi made him completely different. He was awesome in Infinity War. After, like, from Endgame on, he's never been the same. I don't care anymore. Loki was amazing in Ragnarok and in Infinity War. And then season 1 made him a completely different character, which would be fine if he weren't the previous character because now he's making all sorts of decisions that I just don't care about. This isn't the
Mhm.
character that I remembered. And I think that's a big reason of why no one cares about Loki or even the broader MCU. We're not watching characters that we recognize anymore.
Yeah, I would agree for the most part, especially when it comes to Hulk.
Oh yeah,
I
Hulk is
think
another big one.
Hulk is one of the biggest character assassinations in the MCU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, I think I remember everyone getting excited for Smart Hulk in Endgame, and I think like in the middle of all the hype around Endgame, this was another thing that got overlooked at the time, and now I think that spend some time. We can talk about how Hulk was not great in Endgame. I think like the most angry we saw him was when Natasha died and he threw a bench out into a lake.
Yeah.
And I have a big problem with that because in Age of Ultron, there is that, sort of a love story between them. They set all that up.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just crazy to me that the guy who says in the first Avengers movie, that's my secret, I'm always angry, when the person he was in love with died and she like sacrificed herself, and all he does is just throw a bench out into a lake.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me.
He was even really cool in well, he was great in Infinity War, and in Ragnarok when he takes on the giant wolf. I can't remember the
Oh,
wolf's
I
name.
loved, dude. I Ragnarok might be my favorite appearance of Hulk because just like
Yeah.
Hulk in the arena fighting Thor. I mean, dude, that crap was awesome.
Well, Ragnarok did terrifically for all of its characters. It made Thor
Mm.
likable after all of his movies. I
Yeah,
I guess my major point is I don't feel a bond to these characters anymore because they're so inconsistent, and the ones that are consistent, like Captain Marvel, are terrible. Um,
hmm
and so for that reason, I feel like people don't feel like they're watching Loki anymore. He parrots lines like glorious purpose that he parrots from better movies, aka the Avengers. And these just aren't traits that he's carried over. He tortures people without actually inflicting any pain. And so you end up, I have a note right here that's saying, why is Miss Minutes cooler than Loki is? This is not the same character that we're watching anymore, which
yeah,
is sad.
yeah. That was one thing where like, um, I think that this I think is a good time where we will transition into spoilers for
Mm-hmm.
Loki because in order for me to comment on this further, I need to talk about a specific thing from the episode. So, everyone, if you have not seen the episode and you're going to want to later, go ahead, get on out of here, come back later and watch the replay once you've watched it. All
Do we
right?
want to
So,
go through chronologically or do we want to just jump
I
to
think
this
let's go
point?
through chronologically. So, all right,
Okay.
transitioning into spoiler territory. Caleb, you want to take it off?
So first of all, they're with Miss Minutes and Renslayer is back in the place beyond time where Sylvie killed Kang, and Miss Minutes reveals right off the bat that Kang and Ravonna were in love, and then once she left, he scrubbed her memories. I don't know why. We probably will never get an explanation for that, but he does. And the first thing I noticed is that they have no chemistry, and I thought it was cringe and gross. But that's just me. I I didn't think they didn't fit together. They've never felt like a couple, like two actors that get along really well or anything. In their scene in the last episode and in their scene in this one, it didn't work for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I I'll be honest, I didn't really give it much thought, which kind of shows how bland it was. I just kind of kept on going with life. I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, that's a thing that happened. Moved right on. Um,
So now Ravana and Miss Minutes are in this place where they're like, yeah, we don't need him anymore. We're gonna do our own thing, which also lets us know that we're never gonna know why they were there in the first place on the He Who Remains' orders. We'll just never figure that out. That's never gonna make sense.
yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, that happens. think they come. This is when they come back to the TVA.
So yeah, your favorite Jonathan Majors is back, acting as usual. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
dude. Like, okay, this is a question. Lots of people were bringing this up with what's her name's performance in Ahsoka. It's a question of like when you have actors and
Oh,
actresses who
Rosario
can. Right, when you have people that can pull off really good performances and then they also pull off really bad performances, does that make them a bad or good actor? And I guess it's kind of the question that directors face, like Taika Waititi, who directed both Thor: Love and Thunder and Jojo Rabbit. One of my least favorite films and probably one of my favorite films. And I don't know the answer to the question. I don't know if Jonathan Majors is a good actor because all of these performances. I've heard he was good in what, Creed 3, was it?
Creed.
Creed
Yeah,
3
that's
and
my favorite movie that like he's in.
yeah,
So.
well, everything else he's in is just trash. So I
Hmm.
don't know. This doesn't work for me. It's still try hard. He's stammering. I don't get it. Whatever. But
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
this this definitely isn't the best I've ever seen him as in a role. Um, there will be like slight moments where I'll be like, "Ooh, I like that," and then it just goes back to normal.
Yeah.
And I feel like that, dude. Honestly, that kind of sums up how I felt about this episode.
Yeah. So they brought the council people back, which I was like, "Yay, maybe we'll get some of like the interesting stuff that we cuz you mentioned like TVA is boring.
Hmm.
I don't like okay, so they've been in this time loop area for the last like 3 areas. Time loom, sorry. They've been in that area for the last 2 or 3 episodes, and they keep on just saying, "Oh no, we're all gonna die. It's gonna be awful." And this is something that they keep on repeating over and over again. That can get boring. However, I think that the stuff that we saw in episode 1, especially with like the different council people like arguing, I think that's interesting. Unfortunately, they closed off all the interesting ways that could go in this episode.
Yeah.
But the main thing about this episode, and Paul did watch it, and we talked about it, and we can talk about it next Thursday if we remember any of it, which is, doubtful, is that this is wasting time all the time. Kang will talk about cocoa machines for a while. They'll joke about who's gonna go and repair the time loom because that's something that they're gonna do. Abby has time to build an entire model. They all just talk around and joke and go to eat pie and talk about their feelings, and that's most of the episode.
Yeah. And for reference on that, obviously, like I said earlier, I was working on a project as I was doing this. Whenever Kang would just be messing around with the coffee machine, whenever Obi and they would just all be on screen,
Hmm.
I was instantly back to working on the project.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, I can just full attention right now. I'm not going to miss anything.
I feel yeah.
That's kind of where I was at the entire episode.
I feel bad that this is your introduction for the actor for Obi. I wish you would watch Everything Everywhere All at Once
I
with me because he's
Okay,
amazing.
I'll be honest, I don't think he's a bad actor at all. I think the dude's great. I mean, like I said, I don't have a problem with any of the actors and or any of that. I do have a problem with sometimes the way characters are portrayed and written, and this is one where it's not bad, it's just kind of boring.
Yeah, my
And I
dad my dad seemed to think that it was bad, and I could kind of see it, honestly.
and just kind of like I don't know how else to put it when it comes to like some of these characters. I don't care.
Yeah, yep.
That's
I cared a little bit about that councilwoman, because
uh the lady from Game of Thrones. What's her
yeah,
name?
yeah, because it
She's
seemed
cool.
like she was gonna go somewhere, and then she didn't. So,
And then she didn't. I wish we could see more of her because
hmm,
dude, I always forget that actress's name and I looked it up the other day.
it's not a very
But
memorable name. Yeah.
yeah, she plays Lisa Aaron from Game of Thrones. Does an awesome job in Game of Thrones
Hmm.
as that character. I think she's absolutely phenomenal. And I was really excited that she was going to be in this show. I think in episode 1, I was super stoked. Then we didn't see her for a while, and then she was back, and I was like, dude, let's go. Let's see some more from her. And then I didn't.
Yep.
So. That's kind of where I was at there.
That's the thing. It's not hard to make interesting characters. They just have to have clear motivations and then pursue those, and the motivations have to be interesting. But with a character like this councilwoman, we don't necessarily care if she's a quote girl boss. That's irrelevant. What matters is that she's got a motive and she's, trying to carry it out, and it's in conflict with the characters. Uh,
Hmm.
well, that thread's not going to go much of anywhere this episode. But let's see. Yeah, so they're wasting lots of time with the loom. And then Sylvie is also back in the show, and I hate Sylvie. She's boring and lame and, just very mean to everyone. She makes fun of no, she doesn't make fun. She accuses Mobius of wasting time.
Oh,
Yeah, go
can I
off.
just talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
I absolutely hated that scene.
Yeah.
The rest of it, and not a lot of this episode, I really like hated and I can't talk right now and felt strongly about,
Uh,
but I did not like that scene at all. Mobius has been cool. I think like he's actually been a good character. And then for a second it's almost like he was a different character. And then they're just like he's just going to go eat a pie. And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then she got mad and I was like, "Dude, why are we doing this?"
well, she gets mad
And
at him
then
for wasting time, and then she goes off to do what exactly? And it's not like they can do
exactly.
anything.
Yeah, it's like, what are they gonna do? Like, if you can't do anything in that time, and you're gonna die possibly, you may as well go eat a piece of pie, bro.
Yeah.
I would go eat a piece of pie.
Well,
If
yeah.
there's nothing I can do, and I might get blown up in the next few minutes, I'll go eat a piece of pie.
I think you could have some problems with that, but for me, it's like, oh, Sylvie didn't actually do anything, so like,
Mhm.
okay, fine.
It just felt like she was just inserting herself into the plot there.
Yeah. So the next significant thing that happens is that Ravana and Miss Minutes they go into the prison, and it's man, it's really too bad they don't have any prison guards or cameras or anything. Really, you know, that's too bad. Unless did they show a security
Yeah,
camera? Uh, Whatever.
I don't
There are
know.
no
I
guards
mean,
there.
the thing is, like, you could assume that, like, somebody like her could have shut off the cameras.
There should be guards though.
It'd be cool to see her do that.
I'm trying to remember. I think there might have been a shot, but there should have been guards out front.
Yeah. I just don't understand why you wouldn't have a camera in a place like that.
Well, you want to
But
talk about what happens inside? Because I assume you were watching for that part.
yeah, I tried.
Uh,
um,
I can take it if you want, but
you go for it.
okay. So Miss Minutes and Ravana, they're both like, "Hey guys, hello," because these are all the people. It's the one guy X something from from episode 2. Brad, that's his name, the actor guy.
Yeah.
He's in prison because they forgot he existed, and so they were like, "Yeah, you can't be an actor anymore. You're in jail now. Get jailed." And then the councilwoman and all of the people that helped her eradicate timelines, all the previous TVA agents, they're all captured and in jumpsuits. So Ravana, well, B-15 goes there and talks to them, and it's completely irrelevant, goes literally nowhere, only waste time. Ravana and Miss Minutes, they go in there and they're like, "Hey, why don't you help us out?" With what? Not clear on what exactly, but they're like, "Hey, help us out." And then all of them except for Brad are like, "No," because they're Chads. And then Miss Minutes activates the little cube machine that Loki was in the last episode or episode 2. They all blend together, man.
Hmm.
And she squishes them all, and literally all of them die. And I have in giant letters on my notepad, "Show us," because I was really annoyed that everyone was like, "Oh, oh, gross," and they have like faint squishing noises in the background, and then they don't show anything.
Oh,
I think they could have.
I'm gonna tell you the problem with that right now. There, it is called Disney.
Yeah.
and it is the unfortunate truth to a lot of our problems in the world today.
It's just like it's not
Uh,
necessary, but it's kind of lame just to have like
well,
reaction shots and that's it.
dude, Disney keeps doing this, and it is so frustrating to me. Like, for example, in Ahsoka, Sabine got stabbed, and I have seen Dave Filoni take a limb off in all of his shows.
Hmm.
And the minute I saw that, I was like, that feels corporate as crap.
Yeah.
How I it's not confirmed, but I will bet money that was having somebody get stabbed and live was a corporate thing. And we keep seeing this, dude. Even like oh,
Well,
what's
you
another
don't think he
example?
was gonna kill off Sabine there, to be clear, right?
She should have lost a limb.
Well, she got stabbed through the chest. She should have died.
Yeah, yeah, but dude, I guarantee you, like, I've seen, there's been a lot of, like, in the Clone Wars, dude, the amount of limbs that get taken off. Like,
Yeah.
Savage was a big one. I remember when Obi-Wan 1v2 Maul and Savage. Dope, absolutely dope fight, by the way. He takes Savage's arm off at the end, and it's awesome. So
Yeah.
I don't think Dave Filoni's scared about taking limbs off of his characters at all. It's just why was it a stab? And we've also seen like lightsaber cuts on the shoulder and whatever before. Like they could have done that, but apparently that's too over the top. Sorry, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm turning this into a Star Wars stream, and I need to stop. I'll talk about that in another video.
Yeah.
So hold that. I'm gonna hold that thought. But yeah, Disney likes to do this where they take stuff and then they de-escalate it. Now, I hate this show, but I will give it its credit. I don't know if you remember the one scene in the Winter Falcon and the Winter Soldier
Hmm.
when dude, I'm blanking on the name, the fake Captain America,
Oh,
when
John
he
Walker, the
kills
best
when he
character in the
kills
show.
yeah, when he kills the dude with the shield and there's
Yeah,
like blood on his shield. That was great.
that was dope.
I remember actually liking that episode. I'm gonna be honest. Like I had a good time
Yeah,
watching that
well, John
episode.
Walker is a legitimately good character.
That is facts, and I hope we get to see more of him.
Yeah, they didn't realize it, but they made a good character.
Hmm.
Um, oh shoot. Yeah, didn't he save a busload of people too? Even though
I
he could
can't
have taken
remember.
revenge. Yeah. Yeah, they wanted us to think he was the bad guy, but he was really great. Anyway, so that's why I have the note that Miss Minutes is cooler than Loki because she did the most violent thing in like all of Disney Plus history. And Loki just wasn't around. Loki hasn't done anything near that violent since Avengers. um
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, so also way to, end absolutely any interesting plot lines by killing all of those people,
Yeah,
but okay.
and R.I.P. Lisa Aaron.
Yeah. Dude, they could have done something with that. I don't know. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Nice.
So after that,
Coco.
we still yeah, Coco. I saw what was happening and I checked out. So Caleb, I don't know if you watched the entire scene. If you did, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. But the minute I could read from the beginning what sort of scene that was going to be, and I was like, I'm out. Focus on the project.
Yeah, so that super cool Chad guy from the first episode that we haven't really seen, but we were like, oh,
Mhm.
what a cool character. What if they use him in future? He was like, fine, I'll go get Jonathan Majors some cocoa because he was like, do you have a cocoa machine? And then they were like, sure, I will get you that cocoa, sir. So he gets him and he's like, this is great cocoa. And then he gives the cool Chad officer some cocoa and he drinks it and he's like, man, this is some great cocoa, guys. This is like really good. And then they kill off the only other good character in the entire show because they kill him off and turns out it's Brad and he's capturing Jonathan Majors. And so yeah, you have oh yeah, Sylvie, she's in her Doctor Who outfit. I've never watched Doctor Who, but it looked like a Doctor Who outfit. And she's in the elevator and she's like, "Man, I'm tech savvy." She literally says that out loud. She says tech savvy and she opens up the panel and rewires the elevator. Uh says the words tech savvy. I don't know what they're trying to do with this character. And Loki shows up and he's like, boy, oh boy, this is me. So actually, I had it down as a note. It didn't make sense with the faces that he transported back in time and they were out. But then now, or no, it was forward in time. But so basically, he transferred forward in time, and before he saw Sylvie, the past version of him that had traveled to the future, he saw the wall full of Kangs, and then he went back in time and he was like, "Oh, this wall should be full of Kangs," and so he lasered it, and then it was a wall of Kangs. I don't know. You'd have to see it for it to make sense. Uh, I thought that didn't make sense. The only way it would make sense is if he had traveled back in time at first and then forward in time later. Anyway, so the present Loki, I'm rambling, but this is just what the episode is. Present Loki zaps the past Loki so that he can go in time to save Mobius. Then,
Can I comment on that scene real quick?
yeah, go for it.
Um, I felt like this was an example of subverting expectations in the wrong way.
I didn't think
So,
it subverted expectations necessarily.
so in the first episode, when you have that scene that I actually liked at the time, and
Uh,
the elevator's opening and the phone's ringing, and I got anxious. I'm like, dude, pick up the phone. What is it? And we find out it was just Obi just
oh,
being like, hey,
yeah.
what's up?
That was lame.
Dude, come
Why
on,
is he
man.
calling that phone made absolutely no
Of
sense.
all things, I don't know, man. I was so disappointed because I was excited there. Dude, I put the project down. I was like, all right, what's on the phone?
Well,
Maybe it's something,
he took 20
maybe it's
minutes to
something
answer the
cool.
phone, dude.
And it's just Obi being like, I don't even remember what he was saying. I was like, dude, no.
Dude, he took
I
like
wanted them to,
20 he took like a solid
yeah,
20 seconds to pick up that phone. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
It was just another example of
Lame.
a lot of the subverting expectations in this episode. And Marvel likes to do this where they have a serious thing going and it's cool, and then they just undercut it with a joke, and it's not fun.
Yeah, do lots of undercutting here. Um so they decide that to fix the sorry, they decide that to fix the time loon, they need, or no, to get Miss Minutes out because she's preventing them from fixing the time loon, they have to reboot the system. And they tell the Lokis that they'll get to use their powers when the system reboots. My dad pointed out that they'd used their power in the TVA before. That might be true. I actually can't remember any cases like that. But he oh, maybe. I can't remember. It's hard to
I
say.
don't think they have, now that I think about it.
Yeah, if they've been consistent, good for them.
Actually, that does explain some of my complaints about the interrogation scene, but I still think he should have.
Still
That
a lame
scene still could have
scene.
been a lot better.
Yeah.
But that at least, okay. I'm glad that clears that up because that was an issue that I had. So at least that is
Yeah. So they had
the
a couple things that I actually liked in this scene. Brad Brad goes in and Loki distracts him, Sylvie mind controls him. Then Brad goes into the place where they have Jonathan Majors, which they need to help them reset the time loom. And so they grab, or Brad goes in, he's mind controlled, and he actually prunes Renslayer, which I thought was cool and dope.
I
And
liked that. I'm
I'm
not gonna
glad they
lie.
did that because I can't stand this
Real
character. She'll definitely be back, but I hate her.
okay, real quick. I did like that part. I'm gonna come off as super picky here,
Mm-hmm.
and but this is just another complaint that I have about Loki's character. When they get to use their powers right, and Brad's running, and there's this really cool like Loki's in the shadows, and he comes out for a second. And do you remember what he says?
Do you want like round two?
Oh,
Sorry, something like
like
that.
round two or something. I was like, dude, this is awesome. and then it was Sylvie that mind controlled them.
Yeah, I did have a bit of a problem with that, honestly.
And I'm trying not to be that guy, but I'm gonna be that guy for a second.
Yeah.
Why can't Loki do it? We had this in Book of Boba Fett. Sorry to bring it over to Star Wars again.
Oh
We had this in
no.
Book of Boba Fett where Django, gosh, I'm losing it. Where Boba goes back to kill the Sarlacc, and that's cool. And then it's dude, I'm blanking on names today. Uh his his bounty hunter friend that he rescued, she's the one that gets up when the Sarlacc grabs them. She's the one that gets up and drops the bomb in its mouth. And I was like, why do you have to undercut the main character like that?
hmm
Like, I get the main character shouldn't do everything, but there's certain things that I feel like he should do.
Yeah.
And that was just one of those moments where I was a little let down. But hey, who knows? Maybe I'm being picky.
I had a problem
I
with
don't
it
know.
too. It's just like, man, I guess it technically makes sense. It's just like, boy, would I like to see Loki do something cool in this episode.
Dude, imagine like that would have been one of his clones.
Yeah, I mean,
Like the
you
guy
could
in
have done
front.
anything.
Yeah, the guy in front was like his clone and then he was behind him. Like you could do that. It'd be awesome. But
That's the thing. These episodes could be chock full of Loki just doing sick things. He does have that one line earlier when he's talking to Sylvie about Thor and how he
oh,
changed as a person and how he thought it was
mhm.
weakness, but it's not actually, and how his character is completely different now. She said, we'd just be playing gods. I was watching this episode and tuned out of that conversation, by the way. Um, she said we'd be playing gods, which has always been a weird idea to me. I don't know why they have a problem
Mhm.
with that. And then Loki goes, "We are gods," and it's kind of this cool moment. I'm like, okay, sure,
I
whatever you say, Loki.
I did it like that.
It was a weird conversation, but yeah,
Yeah, it was a weird conversation, but it ended cool. So hey,
I guess
um,
yeah, it
yeah,
was interesting because he was talking about sort of character development, and it felt like he had cheated to get to the place he was at, but it's fine, whatever, okay.
mhm. um, so I really liked the part where Brad killed Renslayer.
Yeah.
I was very happy. Whenever somebody beats up Renslayer, I'm very happy. I liked when Sylvie beat up Renslayer, and I liked when Brad killed Renslayer. So
Renslayer is just like a. I guess maybe it's just her actress, the way her posture is. I just don't buy her ever. I guess I liked her well enough in season one when she had that relationship with Mobius
yeah,
because it seemed
okay,
like they got along pretty well.
yeah, okay. I heard a theory, and I want to know how mad this would make you if this theory is true. What if Renslayer's a Kang variant?
No, no, no. If they do that, I'll. Yeah.
Dude, I don't want to be that guy again, but I think if they do that and she's Kang, I will start calling it the MCU. I've been avoiding that term. I've been
Yeah,
trying not to
yeah.
join up with that group of people, but
Uh-huh. It would earn it. It really
it
would.
would earn it.
They'd
Yeah,
better not do that. But yeah, they killed her. Again, she's definitely coming back. There's no way that
yeah.
she's just gone. She's pruned. Yeah, she's gone, which I appreciated. And then they're like, okay, Jonathan Majors as Mr. Timely, you're gonna go out and you're gonna fix this invention. And he goes out and they murder him. And I was
Okay,
ecstatic.
I really liked that scene because, okay, that was an example of subverting
That was
expectations.
good.
But
Yeah.
well, that was like when he walked out and he just pops
Just
like
right
that.
away. Yep.
He just like disappears. I was like, dude, that was really good. I
Yeah.
really liked that. And
It's
then
fine.
everyone is like sitting there with this look of dread on their face because they know they're about to die. And then it rolls credits. I really liked that part. I thought
Yeah.
that was awesome. I am a big fan of Game of Thrones and Attack on Titan, and I love it when they just subvert expectations and just kill somebody really well like that and really make you guessing as to what's to come. So
Yeah, the
that might be my most
time loom
that might be my most
exploded
favorite part of the
and
episode.
then they all are like, "Oh no, we're going to die," and that's how it ends. I would say it's probably my
Hmm.
favorite part too. They
Yeah.
killed off in this episode Chad Councilwoman, Chad Guard Guy, Chad Jonathan Majors. And they didn't technically kill off Renslayer, but like, kind of.
Yeah.
So, if this were a better show, it would be a very significant episode. We'll see.
I say props to them for doing all that, but I'm very disappointed we didn't get to see more of the Lisa Aaron actress because she's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, and that didn't feel like that just felt like you're working with so little, you really need to utilize the characters you have kind of thing, as opposed to like a Red Wedding thing where like, oh man. Uh
Yeah.
anyway, so that
Yeah.
again, like the last couple minutes has a decent amount of stuff I actually like fairly
Mm.
enjoy, but it's packed in with so much blatant nonsense. And it feels like each episode promises that the next episode is going to get really good. And then it's always like, yeah. Maybe one day it'll make good on this promise. You froze up, unfortunately. Give me a moment. Hello? You there?
Last I checked,
Uh-huh.
he said he's in the day room.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Grant. Hello, Grant. Or
All
something.
right. Cool. Good night.
Looks like you froze
Is
up
my
at the
all
right
right?
time. Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I would say, I mean, going real back there real quick, you compared it to the Red Wedding. This has nothing on the Red Wedding,
Well,
and
no,
it's
obviously
not
not.
even close.
Well,
Dude,
because
the Red
yeah.
Wedding. Okay, we need to have like a stream where we talk about this, but the Red Wedding is the best plot twist in TV history. Change my mind. I will fight that because that genuinely blew my mind just sitting there watching that happen.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I guess.
Anyways, sorry, I had to stand for the Red Wedding for just a second. Anyways,
Yeah. Well,
back to
well, yeah. I guess
Loki.
the Red Wedding was good because it had so much potential. So it shocked you because it was killing off that potential, which
Yeah.
this episode might have done. But the issue is that Game of Thrones, at that point anyway, was much more responsible. And so you knew that it knew what it was doing. And here
Yeah.
you're just like, you needed those characters because those were the only ones I was interested in.
Well, I would say Game of Thrones lady I was interested in. Mr. Timely dying, I'm all on board for that. I think that was
Yeah,
cool.
that was good. Renslayer, if she were actually dead, I'd be on board with that. But
Yeah,
there
well,
ain't no way.
thing is now when somebody gets pruned, I don't feel anything.
Yeah. Well, we know that Richard E. Grant Loki is going to come back, so I would assume that
Yeah.
we'll probably come across him when she comes back in the show. So
I actually am excited for that because I really liked him.
I don't care anymore. That's the thing. If this like with the Marvels coming up after that last episode, I've got to say I think I could be considered done with the MCU. At this point, I've watched all there is except Secret Invasion, but yeah, Secret Invasion I haven't watched, but like, you have enough of this and it really does become because on the pre-stream we were talking about how much you need to watch in order to, catch up with something like the Marvels. And it really is like a quote too big to succeed kind of thing where there's just so much. I can't keep up with Secret Invasion and Captain Marvel and WandaVision and Miss Marvel all to watch this one movie that might do something for the next Avengers movie. It's just something that I can't commit to, especially when there hasn't been like one really good movie since Infinity War.
Yeah. Well, No Way Home was good, but I don't know if you
Yeah, No Way
count
Home
that.
wasn't. Yeah, Marvel though.
Yeah. I think this is where Marvel's biggest problem right now lies. And right now, I feel like it's been quantity over quality, and they need to swap those around. It's quality over quantity. That's what should be your focus. I know was it Bob Iger that made a statement that they're doing that? Or was it Kevin Feige? Like
Kevin
it was
Feige.
recently,
Yeah.
recently. And I mean, the problem is like all of these shows have been shot a while back, so even Echo coming up, it's like we still got to take our medicine before if they are changing things for the better, it's like we still got to take our medicine a little bit before all that flips around and supposedly they start doing things better. I don't know about that. The only Marvel movie I'm excited for right now is Deadpool 3 and that's not even the MCU. So,
That's the thing. Like, at what point do you think? Because when you talk about the MCU like doing better years down the road, I don't care.
mm,
I hope they reboot and then I can forget about this property until they do an X-Men movie 5 years from now. But
yeah.
I guess besides like, maybe Spider-Man, I just why would I care about any future things even if they are good? As I was saying earlier with character consistency, we don't have any more Ragnaroks or Doctor Stranges. They give us really good characters that we can look forward to seeing in the next movie. They're all gone. Those are
Mm,
all gone.
yeah. Um, Here's my question for you. I think so. Secret Wars, I do think has potential as a movie, but obviously there is another Avengers movie that's slated on that list.
Mhm.
That's Kang Dynasty. Do you think at this point they should just drop Kang Dynasty and just do Secret Wars and just go ahead and reboot it? Because supposedly, according to the leaks, take it with a grain of salt, Secret Wars is going to reboot Marvel. So, do you think they should just drop Kang Dynasty and just go ahead and do Secret Wars, or do you think they should try and make Kang Dynasty work?
Kang Dynasty would be before Secret Wars, right?
Yeah, that's the one that it's slated to set up Secret Wars.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. According to the leaks I've been seeing, it looks like uh Secret War or Kang Dynasty would essentially be Infinity War, but with all the MCU characters we have now. And
Hmm.
then Se- yeah, the second one, Secret War, would be like multiverse characters coming together. And at that point it's just like, okay guys, nice. You're doing another like a Black Bolt from you're doing another Illuminati scene from Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
You're
see
just getting like
What Secret Wars needs to be is more No Way Home than Multiverse of Madness.
I think see the thing is No Way Home was a really cool concept. Like them getting Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back and all those characters, all from like well no, that's not true. They weren't all good movies. But all from movies that people generally enjoyed. Getting those
Hmm.
characters right there was new. It was novel. And then, well, before and after that, you got Quicksilver in WandaVision. You got what's another? We have a Wolverine coming up in Deadpool. You got Black Bolt, who was in a show called Inhumans in Multiverse of Madness. You got Professor X in Multiverse of Madness. You got oh, who is the other key jangly one? Captain Carter. You have all
Oh
these
yeah.
characters. According to some people, now the end credit scene or the post credit scene of the Marvels is going to be one of the characters showing up in X-Men 2. And it's just like, I think when we got that No Way Home, we were like, oh, this is really cool. This is brand new. And now it's been done so many times, even with The Flash, grabbing Michael Keaton and George Clooney and all these different characters back. I don't think it works anymore.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. I think this is what the problem is here. No Way Home did it well, and I felt like Andrew and Toby, their characters were continued upon.
Hmm.
Like their development, it picked up from where we saw them, and it kept going. And I really liked that, especially Andrew. I thought Andrew really shone in that movie.
Yeah.
Um, and then I feel like people saw that concept, and they just did a cheap version of it.
They
Like
saw the
Michael
like $2 billion mark or whatever it
Yeah, they
made.
see the $2 billion mark, and then what it felt like to me is that they just kind of forget. oh, we actually have to do a good job on this. We
Yeah.
can't pay an actor a bunch of money, be like, all right, do some cool stuff.
And let's be honest, Spider-Man is a different thing. Everyone loves Spider-Man even if his movies are terrible. I watched Spider-Man 3 again recently. I love that movie even though it's
Oh, Spider-Man,
awful. Like
Spider-Man 3 is great.
Spider-Man's a great character and I think well, I don't know. Paul certainly didn't, but I know lots of people that really loved Andrew as Spider-Man even though his movies were terrible.
Yeah.
I think that was a
Yeah.
different rodeo.
Yeah. And I think like Michael Keaton coming back, I mean, some people were excited. The thing is, Michael Keaton's not my most favorite Batman,
Hmm.
and I don't know, like this is opening a whole can of worms that it's a little scary, but I don't know that Michael Keaton is like percentage wise that he's like the top like most favorite Batman among people. I'm not for
Hmm.
sure on that.
We
Um
should, yeah, we should do like a
I'm
poll of some kind
curious.
eventually.
I am very curious. I feel like Bale usually wins.
Maybe. I feel like a lot of people, even who didn't like Snyder's movies, thought that the casting was spot on and thought besides
Yeah.
Gal Gadot and Ezra Miller, they're more widely contested.
I I love Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, I don't think
And
anyone. Yeah, I think
I want to
everyone's
see
like,
him back
man,
in
that
the
would be so
role.
great. Um,
Yeah, I want to see Ben back in the role. But
I think you're
yeah,
right.
and I
Christian
think
Bale is close.
hmm But anyways, going back to all this multiverse stuff we're doing now, I think you can do multiverse stuff and it can be awesome and it can work. But you got to put time and care into it and respect those characters. You can't just have Reed Richards become the dumbest character in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you just can't do that.
I heard someone saying today, and I completely 100%, 200% agree. Even if Robert Downey Jr. showed up in the Marvels, I don't think it could save the movie from losing all of the money. It's just like
There's
whatever that No Way Home magic was, is gone.
hmm There, you got a lot going against the Marvels right now. Like a
Hmm.
lot going against the Marvels. So you got all right, time to get controversial. So
Yay.
if there's any of the super sensitive people watching, head on out.
Don't worry, there ain't
Um,
nobody watching.
Brie Larson is not a fan favorite, and I think a lot of people know that. So this just being a kind of a Brie Larson movie, you already have that going against her.
I feel like she's gotten a
And
little bit of a break recently. Like people don't hate her as much as they used to. But still, like no one's like, let me see the hit character Carol Danvers from the
mhm,
movie Captain Marvel.
yeah. And I don't necessarily think she's a horrible actress because I saw her in Kong Skull Island and I was like, "Oh, cool. She's actually not bad." Like she has
Hmm.
this whole I think she plays I think it's alongside Tom Hiddleston and it's like really good. I kind of want to read.
She was in a movie called Rome and got like an Oscar for it. Apparently, she's very
Oh
good.
wow. Yeah. So she was awesome in that. I want to rewatch Kong Skull Island by the way because that had such a stacked cast and it was kind of an awesome movie.
I
Um,
have to watch
it's,
it.
it's a fun movie. We should watch it together sometime.
Okay.
Um, that's beside the point. So you already got that going against it. Now you already got the MCU has been a term that's been dubbed a lot, mainly in Phase 4. It was almost like during Endgame when that started being a
Well,
thing, and
yeah,
you had that
Endgame did
scene.
everything to deserve it.
Yeah. So that's going to be dubbed on this movie. I guarantee you 100% I would bet my entire bank account that a lot of the community is going to start saying that about the Marvels. So you got that going against it. You got the bad movie fatigue going on right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people expect this movie to be good. You got the leaks that said that there is a planet that they go to where everyone sings to communicate,
Yeah.
and that was in the trailer and confirmed it.
You got Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau, who no one knows who they are.
I will say I actually did like Monica Rambeau in WandaVision.
Oh no, why?
She was better than Brie Larson. I was like, I remember at the time I was like, oh, I prefer her as far as like a character on that sort of level. I was like, I definitely prefer her to Brie Larson, Captain Marvel.
Miss Marvel is definitely the best out of all of them, and like the
I
actress
haven't,
seems to be fine
yeah,
too. So,
I haven't seen Miss Marvel, so I wouldn't know. I'll maybe I should watch the show before that movie comes out.
and the actress, people generally like her. She seems
I
to be
guess I
like a
didn't.
comics fan, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess I didn't hear too much about it, but that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, you and then like you got, dude. I don't even think Samuel Jackson can save this movie.
Oh no, he didn't save Secret Invasion, dude.
He did not save Secret Invasion,
Apparently,
and I love Samuel Jackson. I think he's an awesome actor, and he might be like the only thing I'll enjoy in that movie. But I don't. Nick Fury isn't enough to save that movie. It's got a lot of issues with it. I haven't seen. I don't know about you. I have not seen a lot of promotion for that movie.
no.
It feels like they're kind of giving up, which, I mean, to be fair, at least they're not setting everyone's expectations like they did with Quantumania, where
Hmm.
they're like, this is the most important movie since Endgame. And then they delivered one of the worst Marvel movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So at least they're not doing that. And then you got your end credit scene that, according to the leaks, I believe it's Beast is supposed to be in it
Mm.
from X-Men.
And I still have to watch
Um,
those movies, but like I haven't
yeah.
seen them. That's part of the too big to succeed thing too. Like not only do
Mhm.
you have to watch like half the entire MCU, but you also have to watch like X-Men movies to get caught up on
Yeah.
what's
Well, we
happening.
talked we talked about that on a stream a while ago, and like that's a big concern for Secret Wars. Like you have to watch so much to get caught up. Um,
And it's really like who has the time for that? Like it used to be like you could watch a Iron Man, maybe Captain America, and that was and Thor, and then you could watch Avengers. Like it's three movies.
and I think
Yeah.
the amount like having to watch a whole bunch of content, it would help if that content was good.
Dude, if that content was good, I think there'd still be an issue. Like you can't be what were they saying,
Yeah.
like 10 properties every year with different shorts, short movies,
Mhm.
TV shows. The TV shows really screwed it over. Having Moon
Oh
Knight,
yeah.
Miss Marvel, She-Hulk.
Yeah. So like that's a thing. And the thing is when you do it well, a lot of people like to watch it. Now you have some people that will still at the end of the day won't, and that's fine because it's not for everyone.
Hmm.
Everyone has different tastes. That's the way it will always be. But you have examples in anime like Naruto and One Piece, Dragon Ball Z. I mean, these have a huge fan base and a lot of people watch them. And they are very long shows. One Piece is over 1,000 episodes now, but it's got a massive fan base because it's actually good.
Hmm.
And Naruto actually good. Dragon Ball Z actually good. So people will put in that effort because it's rewarding. It feels worth it. You're actually getting a fun story out of it. You're actually getting to see these payoffs. It's well written and it makes you want to put in that effort. I'm watching through Naruto myself right now and I'm having a blast. That
Hmm.
show is awesome and I am enjoying every minute of it right now. Reminds me a lot of Ninjago too, so that's might be a little biased there,
Yeah.
but um, I think that's just a perfect example of like you can make a very like drawn out like long show or set of movies or whatever, and it can be still. But if you make it good, people will still want to go see it at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So
I mean Better Call Saul wasn't exactly known for its
mm,
breakneck speed. Like it was very slow. And I know you haven't finished it, but I thought it was excellent even after what was it, 6 seasons of 10 episodes each at least. The last one had 13. Even though it was like the slowest TV show I've ever seen pretty much, there was so much just like good stuff in it that I had no problem finishing it.
yeah. Well, I had fun. I had so much fun watching those episodes, and like I remember, I would I get back from work and I would go make myself dinner, and then I would just go into the living room and I would just throw it on and just chill on the couch. I remember my dad started watching it with me. We both had a really fun time watching through that show because it's actually really good and
Yeah.
it is top tier. Same with Breaking Bad. I
Breaking Bad is
Breaking Bad,
faster though. Yeah.
yeah, Breaking Bad is faster, but it's a long show.
Mm.
Uh, but it's still really good. Um,
It's the thing.
Star Wars.
House of Cards is
Mm,
really long. Only
yeah,
like the first 3 quarters of the first season was good, and so by the time season 2 started, I was out, and that's just it. Like as soon as it's bad,
it's a massive fan base. I absolutely love that show. And I think that goes to show you can have a lot of stuff in Star Wars and people will like it if it's done good. But now you have to watch like 5 mid shows to get caught up, and then you got 3 awful movies. No one wants to. At the end of the day, new fans aren't going to want to sit around and just watch all that.
yeah,
So,
I
but let's
haven't.
say,
So,
yeah, but let's say Book of Boba Fett was like a massive hit, and like Kenobi was a massive hit. Dude, everyone would be so excited right now. The numbers would probably be off the charts.
yeah.
But
Well, even like fan bases aren't hard to trick too. Like lots of people loved WandaVision, lots of people loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki
Mhm.
season 1. But once it piles on, you have enough content that's 4 to 6 out of 10. I mean, legitimately, I think it's 1, 2, 3 out of 10, most of it. But, for most people, it's going to be just like mid. You get enough, quote, mid content, and people are going to be like, oh, I'm good.
Mhm.
I finished finally reading that book on the MCU. And I agreed with a lot of what Nerdrotic ended up saying about it, which is that it really seems to not put any of the blame on Kevin Feige. Apparently, he's been saddled with a whole lot to keep Disney Plus up and running
Mhm.
because they're operating at a loss. They're losing a whole bunch of money, and so they're like, "Hey, we need shows," and he's not like running things successfully. That
Yeah.
doesn't really like. He's still at the end of the day in charge of the results, and the
Yeah.
results are terrible. And we don't know if he's going to reset it, but it would definitely make sense to.
Dude, there's a lot of questions I have for the behind the scenes on Marvel that I hope one day we get answers to.
The book
Cuz
was interesting. So
I sorry, go ahead.
it talked a whole lot about like phase 1, phase 2, and then
Mhm.
phase 3. The only ones it went into detail on were Black Panther and Captain America for its diversity, equity, and inclusion points. And they didn't talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or Doctor Strange, which are some of my like most favorite MCU
Yeah.
movies. And then they just kind of dropped the ball. They didn't talk about Shang-Chi or Eternals that much, and
Yeah.
it didn't turn out to be that great of a book after the first half. But
Yeah. It blows my mind that according to that book, everyone in Marvel sat down, watched Quantum Mania, and was like, "Dude, this is fire."
I don't think that was from the book. I don't remember that
I
from
don't
the
know.
book.
I
Maybe.
that was a thing recently. I need to start checking my source, or like quoting my sources. But
It could have been, yeah.
I've heard like a lot of big YouTubers talk about it.
Hmm.
So I do know like it is a thing. That is a legitimate thing. And I was seeing a lot of buzz on Twitter about that.
Yeah.
They sat down, watched Quantum Mania, and thought it would be a hit.
It doesn't seem like
Just
Kevin
let
Feige
that
is aware of
yeah.
like what's good and what's not. It seems like his answer is just trust the process, and the process is no longer trustworthy.
Mhm.
It hasn't been for the last when did Endgame come out? 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping one day we get answers on this. Yeah, hopefully I hope episodes 5 and 6 of Loki are good. I really need it in the show right now because I just feel like after this episode, I'm probably gonna forget about it for a week, and then on Thursday, I'll wake up and be like, "Oh, I gotta watch Loki again today."
Yeah.
It feels right now, it's feeling like homework,
Next
and
2 episodes could be like more could happen. You never know.
mhm. Dude, at this point, I don't even know if I'll watch Echo. I mean, I guess we
Yeah, that's the
unless
same
we're gonna
question I'm having.
review it and we want to make content from it.
That's the thing.
which
I
I
don't
guess,
know if I even want to watch the Marvels at this point. It's like, man, what's the point?
yeah. On the plus side, Gen V has a new episode out, so
You keeping
I'm
up with that?
hoping. What?
Keeping up with that?
Yeah, I am. I'm almost caught up. I'm hoping to really get caught up this weekend, and maybe if we stream, I don't know if you want to try and like stream on Sunday or something,
Sure. Well,
something
no, I
around
can't
that.
Sunday actually, but I
Okay.
could Saturday or Monday night.
Yeah, I'm down with those. Hopefully, when we stream around that time, I'll talk about it. I'm glad that we have, dude. Gen V's kind of dominating Loki right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, that's not
um,
hard. Loki's getting like no viewers.
that's fair, and Gen V's like actually good. So Gen V, if anyone's like wants some good superhero content, and you also have a strong stomach, go check out Gen V. It's awesome. I love it.
Listen, at least we
It's
have
great.
Arcane Season 2 on the way.
When is it
Invincible Season
coming
2. Arcane Season 2 early next year.
out? Oh, early. Oh, bet, dude. Look, we got some good stuff coming up. We got the Attack on Titan finale. Super pumped for that. Hopefully, once you get caught up, we can watch it. Maybe we get like, maybe if Paul can get caught up, like the three of us can just go on stream and talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there will be a lot to dive into. I mean, Paul and I were talking today about like how deep you can dive into Aaron Yeager's character, and I feel like once the finale's over, like there will be a whole lot to go into with that. We got Invincible Season 2. That's going to be great. Arcane Season 2. House of the Dragon Season 2 next year. That's probably my number one show that I'm excited for right now. I cannot wait.
And don't
Um,
forget Ray Skywalker's 10th episode.
I want to do a stream where I just rant about why they're
Uh,
doing that because no one asked for that.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Um
Yeah.
I guess yeah, there are a couple other news items we could throw on or do like a quick gaming stream. Otherwise, I can save it for future streams. I guess not so much news items, but
Yeah.
different things I've been spending the week on. Otherwise, we can stop it here. I don't know what.
Let's stop it here and we'll talk about it either if we do a gaming stream later tonight, we can talk about it then, or if we do it on Saturday or Monday, we can talk about it then as well.
Okay,
If that works for you.
sounds good.
All right.
We will see you all later. Thank you for watching.
Yes, thanks for tuning in. Everyone, let us know what did you think of Loki episode 4 of season 2. Put your thoughts down in the comments. We will take a look at it and check it out. And yeah, y'all have a great day, and we will see you in the next live. And Caleb has gone crazy.
I hate Loki. Why are they making this show?
It's okay. It's
Bye,
okay.
guys.